congratulations on the new contract. Was it an easy decision?
Yes. Short answer is yes. You know, I'm so passionate about our long-term plan here and what we have to do, so it was a real easy decision.
It's obviously a reward for a successful campaign, even though it didn't end the way you wanted to, and I'm guessing it's an obvious question, but major tournament qualification is your primary objective.
Yeah, of course. You know, we got close to the World Cup qualification, but close isn't going to be good enough for us. You know, we're ambitious. I'm ambitious, and I want to make sure that this team can fulfil their potential and qualify for that first major tournament. We want to review the World Cup campaign, and we've done that. And it's about now looking forward to this Euros campaign. We don't want to leave any stone unturned, and our ambition as a team, my ambition as a coach, is to make sure that we can continue to build that momentum.
Did you talk to the players before you made the decision to extend your deal?
No, didn't speak to the players. You know, for me, the long-term plan and my long-term plan is here. My complete focus is here. I think that, you know, the contract extension is great for me, and it's a sign that the players and the staff here are right on track, and for us to be able to focus on this Euros campaign and knowing that the World Cup campaign after that is another opportunity to qualify for a major tournament, it's a real positive for us.
It's a reward for you. By the same token, it shows your faith in the FAW, because I understand there has been some interest in your services, and obviously you feel it's the right fit to remain with the FAW.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think the interest is a credit to the staff and the players here, and the campaign that we've just had. For me, I'm an ambitious coach. These group of players as individuals and as a group are ambitious, and the FAW are ambitious as well. And that's a great match for all of us. And for me here, like I said, reviewing the World Cup campaign, looking at how we move forward and really leaving no stone unturned, because we know there are 16 places to qualify for the European Championships, and my mind is completely focused on that and how we get into that 16. We know where we're ranked currently. We know it's a challenge. You know, the fact that there are 16 places, it's always going to be in the margins, so we're going to focus on those margins and build that momentum, and that'll start in February.
And preparation begins, as you say, in February with, obviously you've opted again to play in the Pinatar Cup, and I guess that's with an eye on having the most competitive games you can at a time when there's no, obviously, competitive games. Yeah,
for sure. We played Finland in November, which was brilliant. A team who had competed at the European Championships. You know, we're going to play 3 great teams again. They'll offer us different challenges, which we want. We want to continue to play different teams, different challenges. Tactically, we want to make sure that we advance on the pitch. And from a Pinatar perspective, it's a facility that we're comfortable with. We know what we get from that facility in that tournament, and we're really pleased that we're able to be a part of that competition again. I think playing Iceland is exciting, particularly. You know, we've played Scotland, and we look forward to playing those games because European opposition are always who we want to play. I think the Philippines will be, you know, that world opposition different, but Iceland, again, competing at the European Championships, they're another team who we want to test ourselves against.
In terms of your decision, obviously, to stay with Wales, to commit long-term to Wales, growing the game, I know, is a hugely passionate kind of subject to you. How are you looking to that as an extra string to your bow, I guess, if you know what I mean, away from the international management, the bigger picture of participation for girls in Wales?
Yeah, we as a team, we know why we do what we do, and we want to make real meaningful social change in Wales. In the last 3 years, the increase in girls' participation has gone up by 52%, and that figure is, you know, astounding. In the last campaign, we broke the attendance record 3 times, and we want to continue to drive that, because the impact that we can have on not only young girls but young boys in this country is something that we are, you know, massively passionate about. So my decision to stay here is as much about the on-pitch work as it is the off-pitch work.
Do you think you can sell out Cardiff City Stadium in the European qualifying? That would obviously be the next big landmark you could do.
Yeah, we're going to dream big. I get in trouble in these press conferences because I put pressure on the media team for saying yes to these questions. But for me, the answer is yes. We want to make sure that we dream big. I think we can sell out Cardiff. I also think that taking the game around Wales is a huge priority for us, and hopefully you'll see us doing that this year. You know, going to North Wales, other areas of the country, to play in stadiums, to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to see and support this team.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack.
Hi, Gemma. I know it's really difficult now, especially because we haven't had the draw for the European qualified yet, but would you consider it a failure if you don't get to the European Championships?
I think the European Championships and that first major tournament is our complete focus now. Like I said, there's 16 places for the European Championships. We're currently ranked 21st in Europe, so we know it's a challenge. We know the margins are there, but do we absolutely believe we can do it? Yes, we do. We put all our effort, all our focus into that. I think one of the key things for me is that we have to keep building momentum with this team. Every team in Europe and the world keeps getting better. So standing still is not an option. So for me and the team, we've got to look at laser focus around our processes. And success will come from the quality of those processes, the standards that we set on a daily basis. This group of players are passionate about representing their country, and the work that they deliver away from when they're not with us at club is a key part of our success. So in terms of is it a failure, is it a success, we're absolutely focused on gaining one of those 16 places, but don't underestimate how fine the margins are with there being 16 places. For us, we want to make sure the game grows. I'd love to see those places increase to 24, 32. We know the men's competition is 32 places, and that's the plan for the future. And I hope the women's game can grow, but for now it's 16, and we absolutely are focused on making sure that we get into that.
And you used a core group of players for your first qualifying campaign. How much of a change can we expect to see in the squad heading into the Pintar Cup and for those qualifiers that start in September?
Yeah, depth is always going to be important for us. We want to make sure we grow this player pool. I noted there around the 52% increase in girls' participation, and ultimately in years to come that's going to serve the national team really well. For us now, we have some world-class players, we have some world-class senior players, some world-class younger players, and my priority is going to be developing those individuals to make sure that squad is competitive throughout this campaign.
And just one final one from me. Your appointment coincided with a restructure in the league, and the Adran Prem has started, and we've seen the likes of Phoebe Poole come into the squad. How do you think the league is doing, and how many more players will we start to see from the Adran Prem and the Adran leagues in development squads, youth squads in the future?
Yeah, the Adran League plays a key opportunity and a key place for our younger players to perform. You mentioned Phoebe, there are several other players. I think what's really important for us is that players have the opportunity at the right place and at the right time. So if that is in the Adran League, brilliant. If that is in the WSL or the Championship, we've got to make sure that our players can make good decisions. And the Adran League getting better will increase standards, will increase participation. And that's a real strength for the national team. But it's not our only focus. It's about making sure that here we have the right opportunities for our players. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
Can I just ask you, Gemma, you picked up, if I pick you up on that extra spaces, I mean, is that only fair, do you think, that you wait for do that sort of equality between the men's and the women's games?
Yeah, I think it's not so much about the equality in the men's and the women's game. I think it's about the game growing and recognising that as the game grows, the ambition for us and for UEFA, I'm sure, is to increase the places from 16 to 24. And when that happens, hopefully that can be, in the near future. But for right now, I do think that, it's not comparing to the men's team kind of increasing to 32, but it is an ambition that the women's game, would increase at that level of competition. Because as we know, in Europe, we play against some of the best teams in the world. It is the most competitive, continent, in my opinion, in the women's game. And that's a great thing. But for us, we know that it's always going to be margins in terms of that qualification. Like I said, there are 16 places. We're currently ranked 21st, so we're going to make sure. And that doesn't faze me at all. In terms of the World Cup qualification, it was even bigger. But for us, we've got to stay focused on making those steps and moving forward and making sure that we are in a position to compete. Thank you, Jeff.
Perfect. Thanks all. We'll break away.